Chicago Bears fans, buckle up because what is going down at Halas Hall right now is nothing short of a full-blown drama series, and we are only halfway through mandatory minicamp. We have got good news, bad news, frustrating news, and news that is going to have you either jumping out of your seat or throwing your remote across the room. This is the most important stretch of the offseason. The moment where we get our first real look at who this 2026 Chicago Bears team is going to be. And right now, the injury report reads like a horror novel. But don't you dare touch that back button, because buried inside all of this chaos is some genuinely exciting stuff that every Bears fan needs to hear. We are going deep on all of it today, from the players who are making you believe again to the ones who are making your blood pressure spike. So let's get into it. Let's start with the good stuff because, yes, there's good stuff, and we need to celebrate it before we dive into the madness. Braxton Jones is back, and not just physically back. This is a guy who spent last season fighting through pain, fighting through the pressure of a contract year, fighting through the very real threat of losing his starting job to a young drafted player. He was benched. He was criticized. And honestly, he deserved some of that criticism because the performance just was not there. But here is the context everyone forgets. The man was playing hurt. He battled through all of it, and now heading into this mini camp, Braxton Jones is telling anyone who will listen that he finally feels like himself again for the first time since maybe his second season in the league. He said this is the first real full off season he has had in years, where he is not managing something, not protecting something, not trying to get through practice without aggravating an injury. He is out there going rep after rep, absorbing every bit of coaching he can get, and he sounds as confident as we have ever heard him. Offensive line coach Dan Rauschar has worked wonders with this guy before. And if Braxton Jones stays healthy, and that confidence carries into training camp and through the regular season, the Bears' left tackle situation could look dramatically better than anyone is currently expecting. That is real. That is meaningful. Let's not sleep on it. And then there is the story that has this entire fan base buzzing in the best possible way. Dayo Odeyingbo is back on the field, and he looks absolutely terrific. Now you have to understand the magnitude of what this man went through. In Week 9 of the 2025 season against the Cincinnati Bengals, Odeyingbo suffered a torn Achilles tendon ending his season after just 8 games. That is one of the most devastating injuries in all of sports. The recovery is brutal. The timeline is long, and there are no guarantees that a player ever gets back to where they were before. But Dayo did not get that memo. Odeyingbo and TJ Edwards showed progress during OTAs after taking part in some drills last week before sitting out for the team period. And on Tuesday, they put in work in both individual and team periods. Let that sink in. This man tore his Achilles in November and is out there doing full team drills in mandatory minicamp in June. Head coach Ben Johnson said getting Dayo for any length of time this offseason was a genuine bonus. They were not even sure they would have him at all. Defensive coordinator Dennis Allen noted that Odeyingbo will definitely be in the mix at defensive end when the Bears get to training camp. If that is not the kind of gritty, motivated energy you want from your football team, then I do not know what to tell you. This guy has something to prove. He has money on the line. He has a roster spot to earn. And from every single report coming out of Halas Hall, he looks hungry, he looks explosive. And that torn Achilles is apparently not slowing him down one bit. Go ahead and type "Let's Go Dayo" in the comment section below because this guy deserves every bit of our support right now. Hold on a second, guys. We are officially 4 minutes into the video, and I want to pause and talk to the true fans watching right now. Producing these deep dive documentaries takes an incredible amount of hard work, sleepless nights, and pure dedication to bring you the raw truth about Halas Hall. We do this for the love of the game and for this community. If you appreciate the grind and love this team, please take a quick second right now to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, and share this video with another Bears fan. Every single subscription equals massive motivation for us to keep pushing and delivering the best Bears content on YouTube. Let's grow this community together. Now, speaking of wide receiver, let's talk about Rome Odunze, because the Bears need their number one wide receiver to be exactly that, their number one. Ben Johnson gave fans a telling update on Rome Odunze's health going into the 2026 season, with Odunze himself acknowledging that with a break. It's just like when you tear your ACL, it's never really back to normal. Now, before you spiral, here is the important part. Odunze is a full participant. He is out there handling his usual workload, catching passes, running routes, and by all accounts looking like the same explosive playmaker we saw ripping defenses apart before his stress fracture derailed the back half of his 2025 season. Johnson has been saying he looks great and that the Bears are in good shape with him. 5 touchdowns in the first 4 games of last season, 15 yards per catch. This is a special talent, and a healthy Rome Odunze running routes for Caleb Williams and a Ben Johnson offense should have every opposing defensive coordinator in the NFC North losing sleep at night. The Bears need him, and right now it looks like they're going to have him. And then there's Jedrick Wills Jr., which is actually some quietly encouraging news for the offensive line depth. After missing the entire 2025 season following knee surgery, Wills was spotted on the practice field participating in team drills. A former top 10 pick, a guy with legitimate starting experience, and now a potential chess piece for Dan Roushar to work with. Even as a depth option and swing tackle, having a healthy Jedrick Wills provides this offensive line with insurance it desperately needs. If Roushar can do for Wills what he has done for Braxton Jones, this could turn into a real find. The Bears are building something on the offensive line, and every healthy body matters. But now we have to talk about the elephant in the room. Several elephants, actually, because the defensive injury report coming out of minicamp is getting legitimately alarming. And the name at the very top of that list is one that should make every Bears fan furious and concerned in equal measure. Kyler Gordon. Where is Kyler Gordon? Despite missing 14 regular season games in 2025 due to hamstring, groin, and calf injuries, Gordon returned for the Bears' 2 playoff games and made an immediate impact, tallying 10 total tackles, including 1.0 sacks and 2 passes defensed, helping Chicago reach the divisional round for the first time since 2010. So we know this man can play. We know he is talented. We know he is important to this defense. He signed a 3-year, $40 million extension with the Bears and is expected to be their top slot corner. And yet, slot cornerback Kyler Gordon, dealing with another soft tissue injury this offseason, was not seen at all out on the field during Tuesday's practice at minicamp, and according to everything coming out of the organization, there is no hard timeline for his return. The man had the entire offseason to get right. The Bears brought in the best medical staff money can buy. And here we are again watching Kyler Gordon watch practice from the sideline. Ben Johnson himself noted that Gordon's lack of availability can impact the trust his coaches have in him, saying, "We know he's a good player when he's out there, but trust level is a huge thing for this team, for this coaching staff, for the locker room. And you can only develop that trust by being available. When your own head coach is publicly talking about trust, that is a significant statement. That is not just injury concern. That is beginning to become a character concern. And that is a much harder problem to fix than a soft tissue injury. The Bears absolutely need Kyler Gordon. If Gordon can't get healthy and stay healthy, that conversation about who plays nickel might change in ways nobody in Chicago wants to see. This situation needs to be resolved, and it needs to be resolved now. Then there is Marco Jackson, and this one genuinely hurts because Jackson was one of the feel-good stories of last season. Jackson tallied 43 total tackles, including 1.0 sack and 3 passes defensed, including 1 interception, across 16 regular season games in 2025. Prior to his 2025 campaign with the Bears, Jackson was primarily a special teamer, recording just 26 total tackles across 27 regular season games with the Saints. The Bears picked this guy off the waiver wire, and he turned into one of their best defensive contributors. He was exactly the kind of blue-collar, prove-it player that a team building a new culture loves to have. Jackson, the top contender to be the Bears' third linebacker, next to Edwards and Devin Bush, appeared to have a problem with his left arm after being shaken up during the 7-on-7 drill. He left the field with trainers and didn't return. And then the next day, he was not out there either. In a linebacker room that is already paper-thin with new faces and young players still learning the system, losing Marco Jackson for any significant amount of time would be a serious problem. TJ Edwards looks great. Devin Bush is new to the scheme. Keyshawn Elliott is a rookie, and Ruben Hippolyte has barely played meaningful snaps. Jackson is the glue. Jackson is the experience. And right now, Jackson is a question mark. And the defensive injury chaos does not stop there. Because there is another name that has been conspicuously absent, and it involves one of the most important players on this entire roster. Montez Sweat, the star pass rusher, was not spotted during the open OTA session and remained absent again as minicamp began, with no explanation provided, leaving questions unanswered. No statement, no update, no timeline. Just silence and empty space where your best pass rusher is supposed to be standing. Make no mistake, if Montez Sweat has something going on physically, that changes the entire calculation for this defense going into 2026. You can scheme around a lot of things. You cannot scheme around the absence of a dominant edge rusher. Then there is Shamar Turner, the high-drafted defensive lineman who was the first defensive pick selected under Dennis Allen. And according to Ben Johnson, there is currently no confirmed return timeline for him. Turner got injured around the same time as Deo. And while Deo is already out there flying around in team drills, Turner is still sidelined with no firm answer on when he's coming back. For a defensive line that is counting on internal development to generate a pass rush, every day Turner is not getting reps is a day he falls further behind in what was already going to be a critical developmental season. The Bears drafted this man because they believed in his potential. The clock on that investment is ticking. Add to all of this, Noah Sewell still working on his leg injury. Cam Lewis dealing with something that cropped up during OTAs and has kept him sidelined since, and a handful of other defensive pieces either missing entirely or working on a limited basis, and you start to understand why there is a growing sense of unease around this defense despite everything the front office did to improve it this offseason. The talent is there on paper, but talent on paper means absolutely nothing if your players cannot get on the field. Now here is the big picture thing to keep in mind. It is June. These are mandatory mini-camp practices, not week one of the regular season. Players come back from injuries, bodies get right over the summer. Training camp opens in July, and that is where we will get our real first look at what the Chicago Bears team actually is. Edwards and Deo appear to both be on track to be fully ready for training camp, which has always been the goal. That is genuinely great news. And if Braxton Jones stays healthy, if Rome Odunze continues to build confidence in that foot, if Jaylon Johnson keeps making picks at practice the way he did on day one of minicamp, there is a ton to be excited about. Jaylon Johnson had 2 interceptions in team drills, including one that ended a 2-minute drill with beat reporters calling his coverage sticky and his performance against Luther Burden effective. That right there is your starting outside cornerback playing like a pro bowler. And that matters enormously for what Ben Johnson is trying to build on defense. The Chicago Bears in 2026 have the pieces to be a legitimate playoff contender. Caleb Williams is developing, the offensive line is coming together, the weapons are there, and the defensive scheme under Dennis Allen has real upside. But the difference between a team with upside and a team that actually delivers is health, availability, and the kind of trust that only comes from showing up and doing the work every single day. Kyler Gordon needs to hear that message louder than anyone right now. The defense as a whole needs to hear it because the talent is real, the expectations are real, and the window that opened when this team went on a playoff run is still open. But windows do not stay open forever. This is the Chicago Bears in June of 2026. Messy, complicated, with more questions than answers, but with enough reasons to believe that when this team gets healthy and gets to Soldier Field for that home opener against the Minnesota Vikings, opposing defenses are going to have nightmares about what Ben Johnson has cooked up for Caleb Williams and this offense. The foundation is there. Now the Bears just need their guys to get right, show up, and stay on the field. We have reached the end of today's documentary. And if you're still here listening to my voice, it means you are the heartbeat of this channel. We put endless hours and absolute dedication into crafting these videos because you deserve the highest quality breakdown of our beloved team. Please don't leave without hitting subscribe, dropping a like, sharing this with the Bears community, and leaving a comment below. Your support is the engine that drives this channel forward. If you made it this far, you are exactly the kind of Bears fan this channel was built for. Drop Bear down in the comments right now and let me know which injury situation has you most concerned heading into training camp. Is it Kyler Gordon, Marco Jackson, Shamar Turner, or something else entirely? I want to hear your takes. And if you have not already, hit that like button because it genuinely helps get this content in front of more Bears fans who need to know what is happening at Halas Hall. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a single update as we move through the summer and get closer to Bears football being back. Bear down, baby.